Rolf, what was for you the first moment where you know, okay, I want to be a goalkeeper?
Okay, so it's a funny story. It was back in school, actually. I was, I want to say 11 years old. And like we had a game against the people that were older than us, then for like about 1 year older. So they just saw someone that's a bit chubby and they told me like, go on the goal. And I kept a clean sheet. We won 3-0 that game. And since then, it's been like a crazy journey.
Amazing. And at which time was for you getting more tensed and getting more competitive?
Oof, I would say at around 15 to 16. That's where I started to grow more into the game and start to go like trainings. Like each week I have 3 trainings. You go to this time and this time and be like focused on growing myself because I had the potential to become something like a very good player. And I think I achieved part of that.
Okay. And what would you say, like, as a goalkeeper, you are the last person, right? And your whole team
Yeah.
is depending on you, and the pressure is much intense. When did you realize, okay, I have this responsibility?
So the first time I actually felt like this stress of a game, it was in the second to last year of school. I had a game, just a normal game. Like if we lost, it doesn't mean like we're out of the competition. But that day I was stressed like crazy before the game. I even told the coach, like, Coach, I don't know what's going on with me. Like, I'm super stressed. And I've played in semifinals and finals and like normal games, and I didn't like, I wasn't suffering from this anxiety before. So since then, it's been like ups and downs. I knew how to control myself a bit. Before the game, it was the worst. During the game, I was able to concentrate on the game, but yeah, the stress leading up to the game is really damning.
Mm. Yeah, I can imagine, but what would you say, like, how can you deal with the stress? Like, what is the good possible way to deal with it?
So I started like doing some research online when I was a kid, and I saw like visualizing or breathing or simple stuff like having a routine. That stuff helped me for a while, and usually it would work. Sometimes it wouldn't work, but most of the time, like I would say 85% of the time it would work. Maybe the other 15, it was like an outside interference that was also bothering me. That's why I couldn't work it out.
Mhm. And when you say visualization, like, can you go a bit deep down on it? Like, which kind of visualization would you advise for goalkeepers to reduce their anxiety?
So from my point of view, I used to visualize the team that we're playing. So I would go in like as much details as possible, like the date, the time, like is it night or day? Is it cold or hot outside? Is the team against us wearing yellow or green or white? Every single detail. And I would imagine just plays that could happen. And many times they did happen, and I was able to make a save from that. I was able to like reenact my visualization into real life, which helped a lot. And after the game, I was like, oh yeah, I actually did that in my visualization. It's crazy.
Mm. Yeah, that's amazing because I think it gives you also confidence for the next game.
Definitely, definitely.
Yeah. And also, like, if you visualize it, it's like some kind of you already living it. And when
Exactly.
the situation appears, it's not this fearful because you have already saw it.
Exactly, exactly.
What would you say, like, how important was discipline over the time to getting better, for example, as a goalkeeper in your case?
It was important because when first started getting into it, around like when I began more seriously, I was around 15, I would say. And I had this coach who recommended me to go train with the men national team futsal goalkeeper. So I went once or twice, but I wasn't really like dedicated to the cause. I wasn't going to every training. And that's when I kind of like I wasn't really growing as a goalkeeper. But then when I started playing like competitive games, there was another coach who actually was the brother of that goalkeeper men's national
Mm.
team, was his brother, and he was our coach in school. So he would tell me like go train with him and he's gonna get you to your full potential, which when I was training with him, I'm pretty sure I was on my way to become like one of the best, I would say.
Mm. Like, you mean training with people they are better than you? Like,
Yeah, like they have the experience, they know they've played the game much more longer than me. So they have the knowledge and I'm like a sponge. I absorbed that knowledge as a kid. So that was really helpful in my time growing as a goalkeeper, and it also helped me to get many opportunities.
hmm, interesting. What would you say, like, for example, if you would give advices to young goalkeepers, what are the, let's say, three best advices to develop an amazing career?
So I would recommend training, which I think everybody would recommend it. Secondly, I would recommend a good mentality, which I think having a positive mentality as a goalkeeper is very important. I remember one of my goalkeeper coach when I was training as a big field, like a normal football goalkeeper. He told me, like, in your head, say that you are gonna save that shot. And most of the time when I did that, I would save that shot unless it was like crazy shot that wasn't able, like impossible to save. So that's something that I've held on to my entire life, and I'm applying it in my normal life as well. A third one I would say is enjoyment, because being a goalkeeper is a lonely job. Many goalkeepers have said that. You're alone, you don't like your defense is not near you. You're the only person with that job on the pitch. And if you make a mistake, well, your mistake counts more than the mistake of a striker who missed a chance or a defender who made a bad pass.
Hmm. Yeah, that the last point is very interesting because, like, as you say, the goalkeeper is the last one, and it's very lonely. Like, can you go a bit deeper down in this topic of like the loneliness of a goalkeeper, where it comes from, and how can you deal with this loneliness?
Yeah. So, like they say, there's a quote that said that you can make 1,000 save, but they're gonna remember that one mistake, that one goal you let in. And that's something that applies also in normal life. You could do 1,000 things good, and one mistake can ruin everything. And I would say that is pretty similar in the goalkeeper life. Like I remember in my last year of playing in futsal, I did a mistake. I like it was my last year. I was coming back from an injury. So I wasn't as fit, you could say, as I wanted to be. And I did like some would say mistakes. I would see it as maybe I could have done better. Maybe I could, like, maybe it wasn't my problem, but that's another story. And I was like, at halftime, I was so frustrated and angry, and like people were blaming me and everything. And I was just like, my head was boiling, as they say. And yeah, like some mistakes, like thankfully we won the game afterwards, but some mistakes they stick with you. And that something is very important because in my head, I was like, oh, but I played when I was injured and when I got my injury and 1 week later we had an important game and I played on my injured ankle and I hurt it even more. But I played a very good game. So I know that without me, they wouldn't have, I wouldn't say they wouldn't have arrived there, but I was a big help at the start.
Mm. You mentioned right now the injury. How is like was your experience when you had the first time your injury?
Well, unfortunately for me, I've been injured quite a while. I've done a grade 2 MCL while skiing, and that kept me out of the game for about a year. And then, like 2 years later, I broke my hand, which as a goalkeeper is a big no-no. And then in my last year of uni, I had a bad ankle twist, which which when I did it, I remember exactly my reaction. I was so angry. I was hitting the floor like because I had just come back from a silly little injury that just kept me out for a week or two. So when that happened, I was frustrated and I was angry. I thought that, okay, that's it. I'm done. So it's very frustrating.
Mm.
And and I would say like being injured is a lonely spot because like you can see your team getting somewhere without you, but at the same time you could see your team not getting like where they should be because you're not with them.
Mm. How would you deal with that now?
Right now, first of all, I would talk to someone because for me, I like those 3 injuries, I went through them alone, and I know that how like it can eat you up. It's very, it's very sad, not a sad way, but it's really lonely, as I've said many times. So right now, I would talk to someone, as I said. I would visit the physios. So that's someone that could help you throughout your recovery, talking with them, being part of the team, like not you're injured, you don't go to training anymore. You're like, okay, I'm injured. I stay in bed for 9 months. So being a part of that team is really important, I think, because maintaining this dynamic between you and the team helps you recover as well. And I would say during my recovery, just stay positive, think mental thoughts, positive thoughts, and don't rush into things. It's
Mm.
very important to rush.
Like as you mentioned to coming back, what was for you the drive to coming back after like this big injury when you are almost 1 year gone?
For me, it was more that like my motivation was like I like the game, I love the game, I breathe the game, and like many people told me that at some point in my career, I was one of the best, if not the best goalkeeper in for my age in the country, which is something very big. So for me to, it was like a motivation to get back there, to get back to this level. Unfortunately, I wasn't able to get back to where I should have gone, but I'm grateful for the opportunities I've had and to the achievement that I've had also.
Mm. To like the last big question we ask always is which advice you received was like one of the best advices ever
So, one advice as a goalkeeper, you mean, or
as a person.
as a person? That's a big question. I would say this is something I remember, and it was like just be a good person. That's for being a person. Just be a good person because it's not worth it. It's a teacher that told me that. And holding grudges, being angry, being like frustrated, it, it wouldn't lead you to get what you want, to your goals. Just be a good person, enjoy life. We don't have it for long. Enjoy it, enjoy your time, do what you want to do. And yeah, that's pretty much it.